Good evening, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to Salam Media. I'm your host, Takir Tahoud, and I'll be taking you through the next hour chatting all things sport this evening. Well, it's been a massive week. There's been cricket action, there's been rugby action, and there's been football action. On the football side of things, the first quarter of the DSTV Premiership has come to a close, and we kind of get an idea of who's leading the pack and who might be leading the pack at the end of the season. But right now, we're going to be chatting to acclaimed football journalist Lorenz Kohler, who's going to unpack the first quarter of the DSTV Premiership and how the two Soweto Giants have been performing alongside the mighty Mamelodi Sundowns, who are currently top of the log with 19 points, and they played 9 games. A match in hand, Richards Bay hot on their tails on 18 points, but they have played a game more. So we can chat all night about it, but let's hear from the expert himself. Good evening, Lorenz. Thanks for joining me on Salam Media. It's always a pleasure chatting all things football to you.
Thank you for inviting me. It's quite loud, yes. Hope I'm audible. But yeah, looking forward to unpacking this with you this evening.
Well, most definitely we can hear you loud and clear. Lorenz, looking at things, it's been a season of, let's say, upsets, surprises, and
hmm
also the first quarter seen casualties. But what was the most surprising, or who has been the most surprising team for you after quarter one?
I think it's quite easy to say that Richards Bay, obviously, they're a newly promoted team. It's their first season in the top flight, and they only 1 point behind Sundowns. And like you said, they played the game more. But I mean, it's an incredible achievement for a team that, when they started the season, the goals and ambitions were to stay in the league, to survive relegation. But I mean, I think they're about 6 points or six or 7 points away from retaining their status already. So yeah, it's very impressive feat for them. And the coaches said now they're just looking to secure the status now, maybe securing a top eight, and then looking towards dreaming of what I asked him is a Leicester City story. But I said talking about Leicester City now is a bit premature. But yeah, that's definitely a surprise this season so far.
No, definitely a surprise package. And talking about surprise packages, it's quite surprising to see a team that was knocking on the door for the league just a few years ago, knocking on the door um, for cups. Swallows lingering at the bottom of the table, only 9 points out of their 10 matches played. Where did it all go wrong for Swallows?
Look, I think the Swallows is quite simple. They don't have, one of the best squads in the league. They have a lot of issues behind the scenes, financial issues. Some players are not getting paid. They currently don't even have a coach. The head coach right now is a player that's registered on their books for the league, Musa Nyatama. The goalkeeper coach is also a registered player. So it's not looking rosy for them right now financially. There's obviously, a lot of things that went on behind the scenes to why they've, you know, struggled to pay their players and pay their staff. But yeah, they're going to need a miracle to get out of this. I don't know what's going to happen, but only time will tell to see whether or not they have the spirit and the fight to get out of this mire right now.
No, definitely. It's going to be quite interesting to see how it plays out for the rest of the season. But then again, you look at a team like Cape Town City, who's year in and year out been performing, coming consistently with top eight finishes. But now it just seems like they take it a notch too high. They're now playing in Africa as well, and only
Mm.
managing to get 2 victories from 9 games.
Uh,
10 points,
yeah,
10
look,
points from the board,
mm,
Lorenz. I don't think it's good enough for the team from Cape Town.
yeah, look, City's been playing good football. I've been watching them. I think it's just, they started the season without a recognized striker. Luke Daniels, the youngster that was playing there, and obviously it's a big step to come from amateur football to playing in the PSL, but he's a very talented player. But like they're slow burners. Like last season they were nowhere near at the stage of the season. They were nowhere near like fighting for top two or the title or anything like that. But I think after the break they went on like a 13 match, unbeaten run, and that's obviously what solidified their place. Um, they lost now in the Champions League 4-0 on aggregate to Petra, which kind of was
Hmm.
expected. Petro is one of the teams that's looking to challenge for the trophy. But it's not, it doesn't end there for them. They can still qualify for the Confederation Cup group stages, which is like, like the Europa League. But I think things will click eventually for Tinkler. It's just, he needs to rotate effectively. He needs to make sure that the players are in good spirit, even though they're struggling a bit here and there. But they do have the players. They do have the squad. So, yeah, it's just about getting through these last, I think, 3 or 4 games now before the break. And then the World Cup comes, and then, have some time with the players, give them a break again, have some time with the players on the pitch, and reassess the goals for the season.
And I think that's quite important, and it'll be interesting to hear what the listeners and the viewers have to say about this topic. So for those of you that are tuning in, you can call in. The studio line is 010-880-2396, or you can pop us a comment in the comment section below. Lorenz, your team that has stood out for you and that you think will definitely cause a lot of upsets and possibly challenge for the league, other than Richards Bay, who do you see? Who do you see surprising many in the league this season?
Look, I've been touting Pirates as one of the teams to challenge for the title, but they've really struggled to score goals. I'm obviously at the stadium right now, and I think this is a very important game for them against Amazulu. They need to get 3 points to get, their season back on track, the league campaign back on track, and also to give them confidence before the NPN8 semi-finals again where they play Sundowns. So I think obviously, look, Pirates realistically on paper is the team that can challenge for the title. SuperSport and Chiefs, they have a couple of wins now, and they're up there now. They're just only 2 points behind Sundowns. But in terms of like their squad depth, I don't think they have the squad depth to challenge, because it's going to be a little bit inconsistent, because both of them have young, inexperienced players and not that natural depth in terms of goal scoring and things like that. So, yeah, if I had to put my money on it, I would probably Pirates challenge Sundowns.
Well, we're gonna have to wait and see about that. But you mentioned SuperSport on a high and on a rise. With Coach Gavin Hunt taking them to that high. SuperSport took a chance with Gavin Hunt, much like Chipper United took a chance with Dane Clayt at the beginning of the season. However, Dane Clayt happened to be one of the first casualties of quarter one in the DSTV Premiership. Lorenz, what do you make of that? And do you think it's a problem that Chipper will ever overcome?
Look, I mean, I don't think it's just Chipper. Look, Chipper, they're trigger happy. It's well known that they stack coaches way too fast. But there are certain teams also that just because they don't pull the trigger fast doesn't mean that they're making the right decisions. For example, like we look at a team like Maritzburg, was also there at the bottom of the table. I mean, they've stacked the likes of Eric Tinkler, they've stacked the likes of Middendorf last season after he built a solid foundation. And that foundation was just ripped out. They had Fatu Davids in the past as well. They had some good managers that have just, they've maybe pulled it too early. So I think for Chipper, look, everybody can criticize him, but we need to figure out what his goal is. If his goal is just staying in the league or whatever, or maybe he wants to see better football. You know what I mean? Like in terms of Hunt and Clay stacking, he said no, they were playing ugly football, and that's his prerogative. You know what I mean? He wants to see, he wants to watch his own team. He wants to see the money he spends entertaining. You know what I mean? So
exactly,
it is a difficult situation, and it's probably going to catch up with him sooner rather than later. But like we say, his club, he can do it easily.
Most definitely, it's going to be interesting to see how this one unfolds, and what exactly Chipper will have to do to start climbing the table. They're certainly not too bad off a start of the season, and who knows, maybe they can stay for a very, very long time. Lorenz, we've spoken about the teams, and I mean, for you, who are some of the players that have stood out for you? We know Shalo Lile. You know what you're getting from him season in, season out. He's become a regular goal scorer now in the DSTV Premiership. But other than him, have you seen any players that caught your eye?
There's been a couple. I think in Pirates, the new signing Rondo started really good at Marumo Gallant, and I think he's been in the lineup ever since he's joined on deadline. He's been a very good addition to the squad. Pirates defense as well. He Kofi Nda Mahela, the captain. But then you go to Richards Bay, the centre back pairing, but more importantly, the goalkeeper Salima Gula. He was somebody who was playing in the second division last season, but he's a Uganda international. So I think he's got 7 clean sheets in the first 10 games. So that's really impressive. And then TS Galaxy's goalkeeper as well. So from an attacking front, okay, maybe he's the striker, got 3 penalties against Stellenbosch this weekend. He's also level with Chalu there. But we'll see. Maybe he's the guy who mounts a serious challenge for the Golden Boot. Because we know Chalu is going to be up there, like you said.
No, definitely. We're just gonna have to wait and see
Mm.
how this one unfolds and what the rest of the season has in store for us.
Yes.
Lorenz, before I let you go, your prediction on the Pirates game tonight?
There's 2 games, obviously. The Stallies also playing Arrows. But I think Pirates, I'm going to go for 1-1 draw here, Pirates. I'm going to do. And the other game, I'm going to go for a Stallies win against Golden Arrows.
Well, it's interesting to hear your thoughts and the way you've decided to select those victories for the matches and a draw for Pirates. It's going to be interesting to see how this one unfolds and the rest of the matches over the weekend. But Lorenz, thank you so much for your time this evening, and I look forward to chatting to you real soon in the future. Once again, have yourself a great evening and an even better weekend. And I hope that Pirates do you a favor and secure 3 points in the bag for you.
Uh, Thank you for inviting me, and good night to the rest of the listeners.
Thanks so much. That was Lorenz Kohler giving us a bit of a breakdown on what exactly is happening in the DSTV Premiership after quarter one, who's performing, who's not performing, and the players that you should be looking out for in this DSTV Premiership after the quarter one has concluded. Well, from myself and the team, we're going to take a very quick break. When we do come back, we're going to be chatting all things kickboxing. We're going to be chatting to Aslam Mohammed, who is the president of South Africa's Kickboxing Association. He's going to get us up to speed with what's currently happening in the world of kickboxing.